I refused to help my stepsister with her house purchase and told her and my stepfather that it's because of how they treated me as a child. My stepsister Jessica called me last month out of nowhere. We hadn't talked in like 2 years, but suddenly she's all friendly asking how my business is going and if I'm still living in that nice house downtown. I should have known something was up. Jessica never calls just to chat. After 10 minutes of fake small talk, she finally got to the point. She and her husband found their dream house but were short on the down payment. She needed to borrow $15,000. I almost laughed. This is the same person who used to hide my school supplies so I'd get in trouble for not having homework. The same girl who told everyone at my high school graduation party that I was probably going to drop out of college anyway. When I was 12 and my mom married her dad Robert, they made it clear I was the outsider. Jessica got the bigger bedroom, the nicer clothes, and pretty much whatever she wanted. I got hand-me-downs and lectures about being grateful. Every Christmas, Jessica would get expensive gifts while I got practical stuff like socks and school supplies. When I asked my mom about it, she said Robert worked hard for his money and could spend it how he wanted on his own daughter. The worst part was when I was 16 and saving up for a car. I worked at the grocery store bagging groceries for months, saving every penny. I had almost $2,000 hidden in my dresser drawer. One day I came home and the money was gone. Jessica had found it and convinced her dad she needed it for some school trip to Washington, D.C. Robert said it was a good learning experience for her and that I could always save up again. I never saw that money back. Jessica went on her trip and posted pictures of herself at fancy restaurants and museums. Meanwhile, I kept riding the bus to school for another year. When I graduated high school, I was on my own. No help with college, no family support, nothing. I worked 3 jobs to pay for community college, then transferred to a state school on student loans. After graduation, I started a small landscaping business that eventually grew into a full construction company. I worked 7 days a week for years, building something from nothing while Jessica partied her way through college on daddy's money. So when she called asking for 15 grand, I told her no. She got all shocked and said we were family and that I should help her out. She reminded me about how Robert helped pay for my mom's medical bills when she got sick. That's when I snapped. I told her that Robert paying for his own wife's cancer treatment wasn't some favor to me, and that the $15,000 she wanted was probably less than what she and her dad stole from me over the years. Jessica started crying and said she didn't understand why I was bringing up old stuff. She called me bitter and said I was punishing her for things that happened when we were kids. Then Robert got on the phone. He started yelling about how ungrateful I was and how he'd given me a roof over my head for 6 years. I reminded him that the roof belonged to my mother, not him. I told them both exactly what I thought about how they treated me, how they made me feel like a burden in my own home, how they stole my car money and never apologized, how they celebrated every one of Jessica's achievements while treating mine like they didn't matter. Robert said I was being dramatic and that they'd treated me just fine. He said if I wasn't going to help family, then maybe I wasn't really part of the family anyway. I said that was the first honest thing he'd said in 20 years. Then I hung up. Jessica texted me a few days later saying they'd figured out the house situation without me. Apparently Robert had to take out a loan against his retirement fund to help her. My mom called me last week asking why I wouldn't help Jessica. I explained everything to her, and for the first time in years, she actually listened. She said she didn't realize how bad things had gotten and that she was sorry for not standing up for me more. I told her it was too late for apologies, but I appreciated her finally hearing me. Jessica never did get that house. Turns out she'd been lying about her husband's income on the application, and when the bank found out, they denied the loan anyway. Robert lost $12,000 from his retirement fund for nothing. Sometimes karma handles things better than you ever could.